AITA for sharing with my boyfriend that his actions made me feel violated? A few weeks ago, I woke up to my boyfriend of 4 years trying to stick his you-know-what in me, and I feel completely violated. When I try to bring it up, he centers his feelings, and I end up comforting him instead. I never told him this was okay, and I never thought he would do something like this, especially because I had already shared with him that my ex once did something similar. In that case, my ex asked, I said no, and I later woke up to him doing it anyway. This time, it just happened. I woke up to my boyfriend dry humping me, pulling my pants down, and trying to enter me. I jumped out of bed and asked him what he was doing. He said because I didn't stop the dry humping, which he assumed I was awake enough to respond to, he thought I wanted it. I told him immediately that I never want to be penetrated in my sleep. I explained how triggering and terrifying that is for me because of my past. He started crying, and for a moment I thought it was because he realized how violating his actions were. Instead, he looked up at me and said, "Do you really think I'm the kind of guy to hurt you like that?" Then he told me I was cruel for comparing him to someone as awful as my ex. I explained I was comparing the actions, not him as a person, and that acknowledging the seriousness of what he did was necessary. Am I supposed to lie and say it isn't similar? I can't consent in my sleep. I've made that clear before, and I certainly wouldn't consent while fully awake. He's been distant ever since. He gives me one-word answers and grunts, and the only time we have real conversations is when I bring up the incident. Even then, it always shifts back to how I hurt him by making the comparison. He says I must not love him if I view him in that light. I've tried to explain my perspective, but it doesn't work. He either gets pissy, cries, or tells me how I must feel about him instead of listening to how I actually feel. I don't know what else to do. I feel like my boundaries and feelings are being completely dismissed, and his focus is entirely on his own hurt. I originally posted this on Facebook, but it was removed. I really need advice because I feel lost and don't know how to handle this situation anymore.